Hi there, welcome to Real Life on the Homestead in Ontario, and I'm Marie, and thank you for continuing to join me on this challenge. And interesting enough, today's topic is going to be cholesterol, and here I am putting some eggs to boil because I like to have hard-boiled eggs in the fridge all the time as snacking. And unfortunately, my friend has lost her dad, so I will be driving to Toronto for the services. So I need some good food to have with me, and hard-boiled eggs are an amazing thing to travel with. As long as you're not on a plane and it stinks for everybody else. But for my car and traveling, they work really well. So I just got these from the chickens, so they're super fresh, which makes them a little hard to peel, but it is what it is, and we do with what we got. Now, what I do with my hard-boiled eggs, just for information, I bring them to a boil them for 5 minutes, shut off the heat, and let them sit for 20 minutes and then peel them. I find it really helps the shell come off. Now let's talk about cholesterol. I'm sorry I'm multitasking while we talk about cholesterol, but I gotta get stuff done, and if I made a promise that I'm gonna get videos out to you, I want to continue that. So, I'm just getting my raw food ready for the dogs while we talk. So sorry, but I gotta get things done. What we have been misled to believe for so many years is that cholesterol is a bad thing. And nobody has told us or informed us that you need cholesterol for healthy brain function. Cholesterol is not the cause of heart disease. Now that is completely opposite to what we've been told for so many years. But I'm going to link some videos in the description box. And one of them is an 1.5-hour podcast. I know it's a long time, but there is so much interesting information. What I do with podcasts is I usually put them playing while I'm driving long distances. And suddenly the distance isn't as far because I'm listening to a podcast as I travel. Get out of here, it's not food time. So let's just talk about this. We have basically been told heart disease is linked to cholesterol. Yet, we know, and there are tons of studies that say, I don't want to be bent over, that women have lower rates of heart disease than men. Yet, women have higher cholesterol levels than men. That doesn't make sense. And I'm not a medical expert, but I do analyze facts, and that doesn't make sense. How could you have higher cholesterol and lower cases of heart disease, yet everything we are told is that cholesterol leads to heart disease? Something doesn't add up. So learn to question things. Don't take what I say as fact. Don't take what others say as fact. Do your own research. I think it's really important that everybody own their own health. Get educated as much as possible. That's what I do. I constantly read, listen to podcasts, listen to different doctors. Different doctors have different opinions. So it's really important to get a lot of information and then come to your own conclusions on how it's going to help your health best. Now, one thing that really jumped out at me was the correlation between mental health and high carb, high sugar diets. Alzheimer's, you need fat. Any dementia, you need fat. So saying that you need lower cholesterol has led to more cases of Alzheimer's, dementia, and other mental health issues. So again, I'm questioning, why is cholesterol named to be the culprit? It's not. It's carbs and sugars. And the more and more you read and educate yourself, you'll see that there is a direct correlation. Now, cholesterol is such a healthy thing through our body. It fuels our brain. It fuels our cells. And when you're told your cholesterol level is high, you should go on statins. Please, before you jump on that statin wagon, do tons of research. Because if everybody was on statins and you reduced your cholesterol to nothing, we'd all be dead. And I will link videos, like I said, below that I want you to listen to. Listen to different opinions. I have mental health issues in my family. My mom has depression, and she is a high carb, high sugar addict. I don't interfere with other people's medical goals. I don't tell my mom what's wrong and right. I give her my opinion, but ultimately it's her life and it's her decision, as well as it's your decision. You do what's right for you. But be wary of statins and do as much research before you get on them. And if you're already on them, consider thinking about slowly weaning yourself off. You probably will need some medical help to understand how to do that. The hard part, unfortunately, is finding a doctor who supports the carnivore lifestyle. And then I look at things like when they introduced the Canada Food Guide, and I don't know what it's called in the US or other countries, but in Canada, it's the Canada Food Guide. And they told you that you need to eat so much protein, meats, fish, and dairy, grains, vegetables, and they told you the percentages. It was when they introduced that our obesity increased, because they were telling us to eat so many grains because you need the fiber, you need the whole grains. Brown bread is great for you. You know what? All those things I am now realizing are friggin' lies. And our heart disease cases increased. They said, lower your fat. And people did. They lowered their fat intake. They started using margarine because that was a huge promoter. Because you do not want butter. You don't want lard. You want vegetable shortening and margarine. And suddenly, people become obese. Heart disease goes up. Cancer rates increase. I'm not an expert, but logic tells me something is up. This is not normal, that when you follow these medical guidelines, suddenly the world goes to shit, like everybody gets sick. And it's not environmental. It's the things you're putting in your mouth. It's the things that you're fueling your body with. If you go straight meat, and if you could do just beef, it's even more bioavailable to your body. It fuels you. Now, I know that we have the bacon butter gal or beef and butter gal, and she promotes eating a stick of butter a day. I personally don't think you need to eat a stick of butter a day. I think you need to eat good quality meat that has a higher fat, eggs, which have fantastic fat. Now with eggs, sometimes the whites can be inflammatory to some people. And because I did suffer from such a terrible back issue for so many years, and it's improving daily. Since I started carnivore, it is improving daily. It's not in my head. I see the changes. But because I know that egg whites may be inflammatory, I try to not always consume egg whites. I do some, like if I'm having scrambled eggs, fried eggs, I have the egg white, and I love poached eggs. So I'm always going to have the egg whites there. But when I'm putting it in my coffee or I'm making myself a eggnog that is just eggs and cream, I leave the whites out, because to me, I just want that richness, I want that fat, and I want that nutrition. So I don't promote eating a stick of butter. I promote eating real food. I always think that if you stick to a normal, healthy way of eating, yes, fry your steak in tallow. Yes, use pork lard. Yes, use butter. But to actually feel like you need to eat so much butter per day, that to me isn't normal. You should be happy with what you're eating. I have my little brown butter bites that I love, and those are snacks. It's not that I sit down and eat a pound of butter just to eat a pound of butter. I do like brown butter on a steak. To me, it's just use your common sense. Use meats that have higher fat. If you're using ground beef, by all means, always get regular with more fat in there. This lean stuff, to me, it makes no sense. Like there's no reason to pay more for the beef because the fat is important too. So that's just a little bit of my little rant. And there is a Homesteading How YouTube channel. I really like following this man's journey. Now he's promoting his documentary, so it seems to be more of a sales pitch at some points, and I'm very honest with my opinions. So you don't have to agree with me, it's fine, but this is how I see it. But just his story on how he had so many ailments, and then he went carnivore, and these things started to disappear. It's worth listening to his story. And now his wife and his children are also doing carnivore, and their health is improving. So it's nice to see real life stories and not just medical opinions. I really think that the more information you have, the better decisions you can make. So that's my rant for today. I am driving to Toronto for a funeral, so I am going to try and get some videos out, but I can't promise I will. So it may be a few days before you see me again, but that doesn't mean that your challenge stops. Keep your journal. Keep doing the best you can do. Use those days that maybe you won't see me to look at some of the videos I'm suggesting in the description box. But for now, please go out, live your best healthy life. Share this with your friends. Like, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.